Hey everybody, you're watching Call the Cornstar, and I'm excited to announce today's video is sponsored by Simply Safe. Good morning everybody. We are hopping in the Geo. We got a couple hour drive. We're headed off to Mason City, Iowa. I am going to do my CDL testing.
Another day in the shop. Shop's full.
Come down to help Cooper. I got two tires on the front of my truck. One is, it's getting a bulge on it. The other one's getting pretty, so we're gonna put two new tires on it. Then we're gonna help Cooper. Yeah, I'd say it's getting time for some new ones.
Today we're working on something a little different than the planner.
Now what in the world is a no-till operation getting a piece of tillage equipment ready? So in the world of farming, there's two ways we can produce more yield when it comes to corn. We can have a bigger ear, so more kernels long, more kernels around, or we can have more plants per acre. Now, traditionally when we run no-till, we just have our bean stubble. So right after we run the soybean header through it, we just have the bean stubble sitting there, and then we just plant corn right into that in the spring. So when we do that, we've been getting 30,000, 31, maybe 32,000 plants per acre that come out of the ground, out of the 34,500 that we're planting. So we got thinking to ourselves, you know, it's pretty hard to make that year bigger. There's only so much we can do to do that. But what if we got more plants to come out of the ground? So how do we do that? Well, we could plant more plants per acre. We could go up to 36,000, but then we run higher seed expense. We have to buy more seed. Is there any way we could get more of those 34,500 plants per acre to come out of the ground without having to actually raise the population that we're doing? So we decided to do some studying on it, do some trials on our own farm, and we found that if we use our real disc, which is vertical tillage, it just moves the top 2 inches of soil, and we planted into that in the bean stubble ground, we've seen anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 more plants per acre coming out of the ground by running that way. So this year, we are going to go full scale with it. We're going to go 1,000 acres of soybean ground with the real disc grain over it. Last year we did 200 acres that way, and it was 15 bushels per acre higher than any of our other farms. So we've done this for a few years now, testing these small little bits, so we are ready to take this full scale. So that is why we are getting the real disc ready. And I know for some reason it took a beating last year, even though we hardly used it, but Cooper's got some stuff to fix on it.
There's this metal block, I'm gonna call it. We are missing a disc blade. I don't really think it does much, so I'm just gonna leave it off. So we got a flat tire down on the bottom here. We got a leaky hose over here. Missing one basket right here. Our drags here. We got a couple that looks like the spikes are poking up. Looks like we got one off because it was flat. I know we have a bearing out somewhere in there. I know these wheels need to be either tightened or something, they're loose. We got a bent blade right here. Now I'm noticing this bar here isn't here.
I can't stop telling lies to me, myself, and I. No matter how I try to medicate or meditate, the truth will always die. A loaded gun, a setting sun. Yeah, my daddy was. I wouldn't take a lucky break if you rubbed it in my face. Go away.
We're underneath the old tractor here. Gonna pull the oil plug, drain the oil. See how big a mess we can make. Ooh.
There's supposed to be a bearing in there, so you pull this apart. This is what holds this race, or this, whatever you want to call it. And then the bearing goes in between these and pinches like that. And then it rides on this, and then you grease it here. But it all fell apart. So here would be your complete bearing, and your lock collar and everything. So then you have your bearing holder here. You set that in there, like so. Take the other one, put it on there, and then when they pinch together, like so, then that bearing can't come out, and then it spins. Ow. A slur. Dead blow. and give her a hit. Since I can't get my hammer in there, I just take a socket, sit it on there, and then hit the socket, and it pounds it through. And that's what the bolt goes through. And then there's what's left of the bearing. Perfect.
Have you ever found yourself in one of these situations? Oh, man, did I forget to close the garage door? All right, Mama Cornstar. Where did you hide my Oreo cookies? Did someone break into my house? Now that I'm in my early 30s, I don't have time for these kind of questions. Which is why I invested in the Simple Safe security system to protect me and my family. After getting on the computer and doing a 2-minute quiz, my Simply Safe security system was sent right to my front door. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, when I first opened up the box and looked in there, I was like, whoa. But then I remember the old instructions when I was a kid and stuff. Be a man, figure it out.
Normally Dad kind of struggles with this kind of stuff, but the Simply Safe app made it pretty stinking simple. I just walked him through everything, and here 15 minutes later, he's playing Candy Crush again.
You can slap up the old outside camera, bloop. And by the way, the nice thing is it's wireless. Sit down, the motion sensor. Stick on your entry sensors. Plug in the inside camera. Plug in the base station. And
Welcome to Simply Safe.
arm it with the keypad.
Simply Safe on.
Oh! Did I remember to close the garage door? Let me look. Where did Mama Cornstar hide the cookies? Did someone break into my house?
Sir, we detected an intruder, and the police are on the way.
Well, there you go. If you guys ever found yourself asking these questions, check out Simple Safe.
If you or anyone you know has been on the fence about getting a security system, you can get 20% off a Simply Safe security system if you sign up for an interactive monitoring plan, and the first month is free. Visit simplysafe.com/Cole to learn more.
Simply Safe on. Home.
Hey, I graduated.
Yeesh.
Not there. Now there's the final product. We welded. We cut this piece of thread off the old one because it was backwards thread and put a regular thread on. I think it'll work.
Now, poke some holes in the oil filter so they drain out, so when we take them off, don't make a mess. There ain't another little bucket down there, is there? Just keep running on this one here. It's like, oh man. Thank you. Yeah.
That's probably like 10 seconds of running. It actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. When she's cold, man, whew, it's bad, real bad. Back in the day, I remember when we first got this thing, took it out and probably put 200 acres on it, and then right here broke. So Grandpa fixed it up. Look at that. Yeah, I don't know what we got going on here, but it's held. I don't know how, but it's there. So it's gonna stay that way. It's just kind of a memory. Every time you walk by it, you kind of remember when he did that. We got this new bar in. Got it all painted up. I wish it matched a little better, but what do you do? So we got this mounted up. Looks good. So that one, on these, you can adjust from top to bottom. Well, the problem was I didn't have another reverse thread. I didn't have a reverse thread nut to make this work. So that threads in that nut there. So I just did one end and I cut that bolt and put a regular threads on it. And so it works. It's gonna work. We never adjust these. So if we do, we still can move it 2 or 3 inches, which will be more than plenty. So that'll work perfect. Just started greasing and going through all these rolling baskets here. We call them chopping baskets. The dust covers off. You can see the balls and there's a lot of dirt in them. And the one's kind of screeching. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna fold this thing up because it'll be easier to get to it so I don't have to crawl under to get to the middle because it's in the middle. So we're gonna fold it up. First thing I gotta do is I gotta start the combine and fold the auger out a little bit because right now, if I fold that up, it'll hit the auger and we can really get in there. And I'll show you guys, on the socket, show you guys what's actually going on and why it's easier to replace these things right now in the shop than out in the field when you're going, because yeah, the bearings might go a while, but if it takes 4 hours to fix it, that's valuable time. That's, 60, 70 acres. And when you're trying to keep up in front of the planter, we just want to keep this thing moving. So if we see anything that's skeptical, even like a tire or something that's it's just usually easier to replace it now and just get over with it and just go. Because, let's say something that's really expensive and it's questionable, maybe we'll run it because it's really pricey. But if it's something cheaper, like a $13 bearing or a $30 bearing, it's just easier to do it now than when you're out in the field actually running. And then you get mad that you're broke down and then the planter catches you. So yeah, efficiency is definitely a big thing. And that's what we try to do around here. I wouldn't say we're nowhere near perfect on efficiency, but you can try your best to do so. So hopefully this thing starts. The key's already on. So hopefully she's not dead. I'll hop up in here, climb the ladder. Ugh. We gotta be careful of this combine because the auger will actually hit the ceiling because it sits a lot higher and the auger goes higher. So we gotta be careful here. Ooh, smells like cigarettes in here. And it's dead. Imagine that. I'm gonna go high, turn that baby up. She is dead. What we're going to do is, this one right here, it's bent. And so we need to drop this row unit, change that blade out. Blade might be fine, I don't know, but I'm sure it's not good having it push that way kind of on the bearings and stuff. I don't really know. But so what we gotta do is there's these 3 gangs. I think there's 3 bolts per one. Just take out these 3 on each one of these and then we'll set on the ground. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna lower the disc down so it's just touching the ground, and then we will take those bolts out, pick the disc up, and then just roll this whole unit right out.
I thought maybe they were more solid.
You got about 4 inches.
Roll it, roll it. Oh. Oh, got some new tires here today, but what I want to do is put the new ones on the back, so I need to put a new one up here so I can get my jack and go to the back and take a tire off and rotate them. So that's what we're gonna do. Oh, shoot. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Ah. Ooh. Whoa. Whoa.
I just got back from my CDL class and Justin stopped out and he helped me measure wood and tin that we need to get the inside of this building done, because right now this building is the bottleneck to our operation when it comes to having nice working space over here on the main farm and having our tools organized and not laying in piles on the floor and Basically, we want it where we can just walk in, have stuff hung up nicely, you know where all your wrenches are, we don't have any clutter on the floor. I want this building to be zero anything on the floor. I want everything up on the walls, stuff's gonna be hung. We're gonna have fold-up racking, we're gonna have pallet racking in the back or our big library shelves. I haven't really decided what we're all gonna do there yet. But we can't do any of that stuff until we get our tin done. So we need to tin the walls, we need to tin the ceiling, then we can get conduit ran so we can get our lights actually plugged in, because right now this is actually how you turn on the lights. You just pull the extension cord. This one works like the one in the back right corner. Then there's just a random assortment of cords. You got to kind of plug and play to find the light that you want. Then we can get an air compressor over here. We can run the piping along the walls. Then every 20 feet we can have a place where we can plug in air. I mean, right now this is the air compressor that we're using over here. So it takes a really long time to fill a tractor tire with this, by the way. And this little guy's just not big enough, so we really can't run any air tools over here. So we're kind of limited on what we can do on this farm right now with the condition our buildings are on the inside, just because certain things aren't done yet. But that's gonna change once we get this building done. So I need to get all those materials ordered. Justin gave me a very detailed list of what we need here. Let's see, what do we got? 128 2x4s that are 16 feet long. And then this is all the tin that we need. When it comes to our farm operation, we're always looking for things that we do that maybe aren't the most efficient or don't make the most sense. And then we find that bottleneck and what the problem is. And then we figure out what we have to do to address it. So like in the case of this building and our big machine shed, I mean, they're nice buildings. You can get stuff inside of them. But literally for the course of my whole life, if we have to do anything more than taking off some small bolts or nuts or something with a wrench, or maybe cutting something with a torch, we do all the other work down at the other shop, which is 2.5 miles away. So that doesn't always make the most sense when you just want to fill a tire or something and you have to take it off to go bring it somewhere because you don't have enough air compressor here to do something, or things along those lines. So that's what we're trying to get at here by doing this, because this building here, it's 32 feet wide and 80 feet long. If we have this building cleaned out, I mean, this could be an awesome station. Now, you're not going to be able to fit the most stuff in here, but if you need to pull the 340 in with the planter on it and you need to work on some stuff, if we have everything available, nothing on the floors, just the tools we need in here and parts we need in the back, this can be an awesome workspace to get stuff done over here. Because when this building is done, there is certain pieces of equipment that should honestly never have to go to the main heated shop again, because we'll be able to work on them here, where in the past we haven't had those capabilities. So in my opinion, this building right now is the bottleneck in our operation. Once we get this done, this is going to open up so many doors on us being able to do other things and be able to be more efficient with our time and be able to get further ahead with our operation to get to what our goals are. Just imagine light switches right here where we can actually turn the lights on. 220 electricity. We don't have 220 in here. We can't run the welders here. We actually have to bring it into the big machine shed if we want to weld anything. Probably not going to be the biggest fan of the wood and tin bill we're going to get on this, but I am going to be a fan of how this is going to take our operation to the next step, or help us take us to the next step. So to me, that's worth it.
We got a call. We got a funeral coming up. So I'm going to go up to the cemetery and find the grave and look things over. I actually got a hold of Larry. He got the spot marked, but I'd just like to go up and see it with my own two eyes. I don't know if we can dig it with our backhoe or if we'll have to use the grave digging machine. So I just like to go up, and I thought I'd go up there before it got dark. Ooh. Then I forget my gloves. I forget my other coat. Whoa. Okay. I think we're good to go. I think we can use the backhoe here. Hopefully it starts warming up so we don't lose the frost going out of the ground and have it all start freezing up again.
Anybody state to me what you think is wrong here? Anything. Give you a hint. It's not straight. Somehow one of the bolts broke, then I think it dropped down and then just got all twisted up. Those are scrapers, which are supposed to go on these set of blades here. They go in between the blades, and then they just are shy of the blade, and then it just keeps mud, tries to build up on them. It knocks it all off. But it's been a couple years since this has been on, and we're really going through the real disc this year, so we're gonna get this back on, make sure it's on there, keep it from plugging up. Each one of them's got 2 bolts. I'm just gonna pull them all off, get this bar lighter so I can really get it in the press, not worry about holding all this weight, because that thing weighs like probably 100 pounds or better. Right now I'm just getting all the small little bends out, and once we get those out, then we can start trying to pull that up, straightening that out. And once we get that straight, put everything back on, we'll throw it back up there. Won't take too long at all.
We got Cooper running around underneath the tractor. He's checking air pressure in all the tires, putting air in them if they need them. What are you kind of putting in them? 16? Yeah. All these little things of getting stuff ready take time, but it is very, very important you take time to do that. What Cooper is going to do, it looks like, he's going to siphon out the fuel tank on the tractor into the barrel, down probably 10 inches from the bottom. We got to put a new fuel sensor in it. So he's trying to get the fuel below that so we can take things apart, put the new fuel sensor in it. Hold on. Okay. I got the key off. Don't matter. You can wiggle it around once.
I'm moving it.
Questioning this
Does
wire.
it have to be grounded, Coop?
I'm gonna replace this wire quick.
Okay. I think we're going to take these 2 bolts, take one out, push these gangs back so our row's running straight. We're going to run this on our bean ground before we plant, just to kind of break up the ground a little bit, make it a little black, but we don't want to get too deep or too crazy. Ah! Jeez. Definitely going to get my headphones on. I think it's got some power.
Come tend the garden with me. We have so many seeds to sow.